Hi everyone, my name is Dustin. I'm nearly 40 years old. I'm autistic and I have some other mental health challenges that I experience. And I come to you each week with a new blog explaining my life as an autistic person. I've been living independently for over 6 years. I also work independently. I worked for over 15 years, almost 15 years now. And I'm glad to be here sharing some content with you. So stay tuned for this week's vlog. Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's vlog. Glad to see you. Today is Thursday. I usually do a vlog on Friday, but with the weather today and things being just as they are, I had some free time and I thought, well, I would just go ahead and do this week's vlog a little ahead of time, which I guess is okay in its own sense. We have a 3-day weekend coming up, and that's always exciting, except it's going to be cold. So you have one thing with the other. And how do you fight the reality of isolation? How do you deal with it? How do you take care of your mental health? How do you say that everything is okay? And I guess that's where I want to come and say, well, everything is okay, for me. And, even though years ago I would say, things are so bad, and I would think of every bad thing on the planet that would be wrong in my life or wouldn't be right. And you would think that very much with everything that is going on in my life, that it wouldn't be, what it would be. But somehow there's a ways and they work themselves out to be. And I guess what really helps me is radical acceptance, and that is, a dialectical behavioral therapy skill that teaches you just to accept things as they are. And, for the moment, and that you can't change everything about everything. Um, you know, there was always a time when I was growing up or maturing more into adulthood, thinking I want to fix everything. I want everything to be my way. I want everything to go as I want it to go because it makes me feel comfortable and it makes me feel safe. And as an autistic person, I would say very much that it would make me feel comfortable and safe and bring me that comfort. But sometimes things change, and if anything, over the past year and a half, things have changed, and things have not always been perfect in myself either. But I'm learning to work better with that and find that things are actually working better for me because I'm allowing them to. And part of that is allowing radical acceptance more into my life and understanding that there are things I can't change, but what I can't change, I can't control. But what I can control is how I react to situations. And, I think a lot that can be said about the way we react to things, especially as autistic people such as myself. Um, you know, uh, um, sometimes things happen for ways they do, and we can't change them, or people say prayers, or however it may be, you know, things happen and we can't change them. We want to change everything. We want us to see, we want everything to go just right. We want to have a perfect uh, way of thinking, but really we can't. And I think sometimes we realize that we just want our own sort of peace and our own sort of security that we can find. And part of that is letting go of what we can't control because we can't. And it doesn't matter how much we try sometimes to fix things or want to be a part of things. We can't let it take occupancy in our mind and ruminate over and over and over like it has in the past. And I think part of that for me is realizing that I have to radically accept things for what they are and, understand that that they are what they are, and I can't as much as I think they can change. There's part of me also that makes me realize that things things are better in some instances and some things are not. But, one thing that helps me realize when things, I think, when one of the biggest issues that I sort of ruminate over and over again is the fact that I make a list, and if it's two situations or two scenarios, I'll break that list into half. What one scenario is like, and what the other scenario is like, and I'll take a red and a green pen. And what's good about it, I'll make green. And what's bad about it, I'll make red. And if there's more green and red in the situation, or there's more red than if there's more red than green in the situation, then I know it's not for me. But if the other situation has more green to it than it has red, then then I know that was the right choice to make. And being able to see that in one last situation that I've been dealing with for a very long time for over a year now, and realizing that it is much better the way it is, allowed me to see that I need to let part of those negative feelings that I'm experiencing go and work towards accepting them for what they are, even though I in the past I might not have agreed with them or been, kind to them, but now I realize that it is better for so many reasons, and that I need to be seeing that more rather than seeing the negative or always wanting to point out the negative. It can be hard when you want to point out the negative in everything, and sometimes our mental health makes us see that and makes us want to because we're not taking care of ourselves or whatever it may be. And I've realized that more and more too. So, as time evolves on, and I realize that I too need to be responsible by taking care of my mental health and being my best self and being the best person that I can be. It isn't always easy, but once I do it, I'm okay. And once I see that I can break through my anxiety or any other challenge that I might have, and seeing that, well, things may not be 100% perfect, they're good enough to get by, and I need to realize that too. So, it's all about how you see things and how you view things too that really matter in a situation, whether it's good, bad, or the otherwise. But accepting things for what they are in the moment so you can get through them and not make them something that you ruminate or make a bigger issue than what they are. Because sometimes I would ruminate over things, and I think, and it'd be late on a weeknight or be on a weekend, and you think to yourself, why are you really making this a problem at a time when it can't be solved and it's not going to be solved? Why is that going to be a problem for you? Why are you going to see that as a problem? Why are you, going to understand it? You're seeing it as a problem, but maybe it's not. And maybe you have to move on with things. And part of that was, accepting that for what it is, so I don't react and so I don't get negative about it, but also working it out through the pros and cons and the red and green sheet writings that I do to see that, yeah, things are better now, and I need to realize that too. It's not easy and it's a challenge, but I get through it. And I think sometimes we don't see what we're going through is actually a challenge. And when we ruminate about things way too much sometimes, and we don't realize the whole abstract of what we're going through, especially when I would spend a whole weekend ruminating about things I have no control over, or even wonder why I would make them more of a problem when nobody else does. And I think sometimes I have to be responsible and reach out to others when I'm down and I'm out, or seek support. And I think a lot of people need to seek support, but I think there's also a lot of shame in asking for help too. And it can be hard because you call places and you think places that are just there to listen. And sometimes you call these few numbers and you think, okay, they're really busy. It just shows how busy, the world is in the mental health these days, and how important it was. I was watching Prices Right this morning before lunchtime, and I realized how, even now Drew Carey says take care of your mental health and how important it is. I think we that a lot of that can a lot can be said for that too, because we do have to take care of our mental health, and there is no shame or no stigma in that. That we have to be better about it and understanding, what's necessary for ourselves and what we need to do to take care of ourselves and be our best every day, each and every day. So just keep that in mind and understand the why and the how of things work. Understand, educate yourself. Know why you're doing XYZ. Know why you're taking XYZ treatments. Know all of these things. Understand why things work. Understand why you shouldn't stop doing those things and how they work out for you and how bad things could really get and how you could really understand those things. So with that being said, I think I'm going to jump off of here and realize that hopefully that gets your gears going today and hope keeps you going. With understanding radical acceptance and taking care of your mental health and why they're important. So if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. I appreciate every new subscriber who is joining us, and I bring content every week. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Pinterest. That handle is Dustin's Dynasty. I'm on the web. That address is www.dustinsdynastyusa.com. And lastly, I have a link tree with all my links, all my podcast platforms, and all my socials. That handle is Dustin's Dynasty. Again, I want to thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, stay safe out there, and we'll talk at you soon. We'll see you later. Stay warm.